What up? What up? What up? It is that guy Dub, and I'm back with another video. How you guys doing at the end of the day? Shout it, I'm good money. Now today, we got a special guest in the building. One of my truck driving brothers. I've known this man for about 20 years. It seems like damn near. You know what I'm saying? My brother Big Lou. You know what I'm saying? We call him Lucious, but you know what I'm saying? Welcome everybody to the building, man. So welcome my brother Lucious to the building. How you doing, brother?
How's it going, everybody?
Chilling, chilling. We good. So what's been going on in your life, man? I know you still out there on that road, man.
Man, trying to survive this economy. I started my own company like 2 years ago, so it's been rough, man. But we hanging in there.
Yes, sir, man. It's like as somebody that comes from that world. I mean, I already know, man. It's
Yeah, exactly. I ain't
yeah,
even got to say too much. You already know.
yeah. It's like I didn't. You said hit some stumbles in the road when it comes to the driving thing, but I'll be back in the truck soon. You know what I'm saying? But we'll touch on that off camera. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
look, don't rush.
But big facts. Now you said we're gonna start off because I made a statement on Facebook saying that Dr. Umar was a
Oh, you
clown.
got to go there first.
Yes, we're going there first.
Gotcha.
You said that Dr. Umar was a clown basically for trying to hold black men accountable for the decisions that black women make. Now, I don't
Right,
necessarily consider this man a clown totally. I just thought that was
right.
clownish
It was a
behavior.
clown ass statement. Gotcha. Well, okay. So here's to clarify that statement. I agree. It was a clown ass statement because you can't hold all black men accountable. But I think I read it wrong. I think I read it as he says it's black men's fault that women choose the men that they do, and I guess I localized that particular part of the quote and specifically commented on that, and on that I would say to an extent he's right because you got women out here, and I'm not going to say it's all now. This is a culmination of the last 20, 30 years. I mean, the dope boy started this a long time ago.
Yeah,
We
that's
we
true.
got women wanting men with money and flashy a long time ago. The only difference is now everybody doing it. So at some point, men had a part to do with a lot of this stuff.
But at the end of the day, you said unless it came to you saying the word that rhymes with grape, you said she had a choice whether or not to open them legs.
Exactly.
You see,
Exactly.
so with that part right there, I definitely would not you said agree entirely. You said with that sentiment, but
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
said, for the most part I do agree with Dr. Umar. You saying, but of course I've agreed with Trump on certain things. I've agreed with Biden on some things. I've agreed. It doesn't matter. Everybody has points where you said they actually make sense. But I
Right.
just you said, but
Right.
like to literally sit there and be like, okay, that's it's almost like you getting mad at the officer for pulling you over when the speed limit is 70, but sir, there's 220 on the dash.
Being held accountable. We got to hold ourselves accountable first. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
It's one of
It's
those.
like that old how does the Bible saying go? Pluck the something out of your own eye before you go and trying to pluck it out of somebody else's. Well, we ain't got there yet.
No.
As a whole people, we ain't got there yet. A lot of people still can't hold themselves accountable for themselves. And until we can
Absolutely.
do that, you got influencers and you got a million social media, YouTube channels with men and women trying to tell men and women how to be with men and women.
Right, which is I think is stupid because everybody's particular walk is different. For one, you said for two, like which is with me, I try to teach positivity towards the kids, especially when it comes to being in an online space. And
Yeah,
then also you talking about mental health because you said, yeah, we can sit there and oh, black men are to blame for women doing the blah blah blah. It's like, no, let's have a conversation that like break the stigma of men not talking about mental health. You know,
right,
like I
right.
said, I've got a good buddy of mine. He's been going through it here lately. He lost his brother a couple weeks ago, his grandmother right before that, and another good buddy of his. And it's just like I had another guest who's a big time influencer in Atlanta that does deals in the fashion world, and he was talking about his mental health, and I was just like, well, how can I, as a person, be a better friend, being there for my friend that's going through it? You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the kind of
Right,
things I try to talk about on my platform. You saying like I'm not
right,
of course, I give my opinions, I crack my jokes, I talk my shit, but you know, it's like I'm not trying to give nobody a blueprint on how to live your life from my
right,
perspective. You know?
right. And see, that to me, that's one of the problems. People take opinion to be fact.
Hmm.
When there's in this country alone, there's 330 million opinions. Think about
Yeah.
how many is in the world.
Hmm.
And we start taking 330 million as fact, we all going in the wrong direction. It's
Right.
okay to have an opinion. just like it's okay to agree and disagree with people. Like you just said, you agree with some things Biden or Trump or people like that said, where the run of the mill will tell you, oh, you stupid for listening to them. But everybody has something to say. It's just a matter of not if you're going to listen to something that's in there. Because if you cut people off from the very beginning because of who they are, based off of you not agreeing with them for whatever reason, you might miss that gem you need. And
Absolutely.
those gems are everywhere.
Like you said, like everybody's on the social media right now has got their own opinion about the whole Kiki Palmer thing, and it's still fresh, so we're still talking about it. But
Okay.
you said first off, before I give my opinion of it, what was your opinion on that whole scenario?
Well, first off, okay, so I hear a lot of people saying, well, he shouldn't have went public. Well, she did that in public, so it deserves if. Now, this is completely if you're the type of person that it has to be addressed, it deserves to be addressed publicly because she embarrassed him publicly. But personally, I don't think he should have said anything at all. I personally would have been giving her the deuces. That's, give me my child support papers and we'll go from there because you showing me you can't respect me as a man.
Right.
Like it's okay for you to go out, hang out with your friends and all of that. But that girl was grinding up against Usher.
Yeah.
And that's where the cutoff is to me. I done seen my woman dance in a club up against a man. I done seen videos of her when I wasn't there doing it. But there's a difference. That the respect comes at how she was doing. She was lushing over this man. So that's where I cut it off. I have no problem with her going out doing her thing, but respect your dude at home. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. No,
And that man is totally embarrassed. That everybody in the world, oh man, I mean, you know how I know. Ain't no brother out there going out there hollering and shooting ball on the court with his boys and his girl done did something. You don't think he gonna hear about it?
I mean, big
I
fact.
mean, that's just the world we live in. So that man, you embarrass that man in public. So whether or not they should break up for it and all of that, I don't think it's a breakup thing. It's just a learning opportunity. But the problem is she's been that way all her life. All of her, since she was old enough to be able to do what she wanted in Hollywood, she been a ratchet. I mean, she been ratchet out there like that.
And you said
So
I've been telling people it's like, okay, you said you got certain type of people in this world. You said like a lot of people. This is gonna be controversial, but I'll take it. You just said
mhm.
like just because you put a baby in a sock doesn't make them anything more than a sock.
You're not buying loyalty. Women taught us that a long time ago when they tried to trap men with babies. You can't buy loyalty with a baby.
You're sitting there like for all the people at home. You say, this is what I want you to do. I want you to, if you have any kind of ring, whether it's a wedding ring or using a championship ring, hell, it could be a high school ring. I don't give a fuck. Go get you an onion ring, put it on a sock, and then ask that sock to go clean your kitchen. Let me know how that works out for
Right, exactly, exactly. So yeah, I'm with you on that. That like like I said, it's that's basically a matter of opinion because you got, like I say, any platform you've seen, you have people for it. You go girl, and then you have people not for it. So it's just another one of those societal things. And I'm glad you brought that up because I struggle with this in life because it pisses me off. Why do we care so much about what celebrities are doing when it don't affect our lives today, tomorrow, or the future? Like, why do we put so much time and effort on our platforms to talk about celebrities?
Okay.
Like we literally, if we're influencers making money, getting revenue, we're literally getting revenue now by putting up videos of celebrities and critiquing them. Like that's what these guys are doing.
Right. Okay. Well, you saying, but right along with it, I'm pretty sure you've got a substantial amount of followers on you saying your Facebook or your Instagram, right?
Uh,
Okay, you said what's the difference between them expressing their opinion on a Kiki Palmer situation or you not liking the latest episode of The Walking Dead?
I guess there really is no difference because either way I can ignore it. That's the power we have. You don't have to give any credit to somebody's opinion.
Right,
But we're too sensitive.
yes, but I think you said with that particular sentiment that you expressed, it's almost like when Laura Ingraham told LeBron to shut up and dribble.
Right.
Like he can't have an opinion on something.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't agree with that. You can't. You start taking people's opinions away now. It's called control. Like
Right.
anything other than somebody having free will and opinion, then you're trying to control us. And that Laura Ingham situation was just an example of how they think they can control us and how
Mhm.
they try to control us. And she showed us that, oh, I forgot that we don't get to do that no more. But she forgot while she was on air when she did it. Because
Right.
that's how they feel still.
Right. Because I had this conversation a couple of years ago with somebody, and they was like, "Well, I think you saying LeBron should you said keep his thoughts to himself and just entertain us and blah 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 blah." And I was like, "But at the end of the day, he's still a human being. He pays taxes. That's his First Amendment right to say what the fuck he wants to.
Right,
Especially if a reporter asks him a question. If he
right.
decides I'm going to answer the motherfucker, then you should be mad at the news outlet for asking the goddamn question instead of him for answering the motherfucker."
Well, now I will say this though, when it comes to celebrities commenting on, because again, we're talking about things where celebrities now are commenting on normal people stuff.
Hmm.
And that's again, as normal people, we're looking at that and we're taking that standard. And that standard doesn't apply to us. And again, that's where we're getting all flipped out of WAP and everything. Nobody's on the right path because we're not doing what works for us. We're doing
Hmm.
what works for subject A over here or subject B over here.
Hmm.
And we gotta we one of the journeys I've been on the last few years is a self journey,
Hmm.
learning who I am, learning what I like, learning what I want, learning where I want to be. And we say, a lot of people say, oh, I've done the work on me. But until you get to that point where you really know who you are and nothing affects you without you allowing it to affect you, because there's no reason we should be out here all sensitive and giving a damn about other people's opinions. Even if you want to, like I did, and I'm grateful you didn't react in a way in like some of these people react if you go against what they're saying. They want to start a keyboard war with you, and some people can give their opinion and think that's just that. Nobody should be able to say anything about it or give their opinion about it when that's what the post was, is an opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. And like to me, that's I'm here for it. So when basically you said I'm projecting, I'm like, all right. For one, you said for one, check
Exactly.
the source so you know who I'm talking to. You said
Exactly.
what if it, I mean, like even if I didn't know you for two, it's like okay, he's rebuttaling my thing. Now we can keep this conversation going, or I could bitch up and then start a fucking fight.
Right, but then what will you learn from me in that situation about
Exactly.
the subject that you didn't know already?
Hmm.
I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of getting a different perspective to add to your own perspective.
Exactly. You see, that's what my platform is. You see, like certain people, they get sensitive because I bring up topics you saying like that people want to ask, but like
Hmm.
I've had guests sit there and say, well, like especially when it comes to the using the LGBTQIA plus community, you said they was like, well, just mind your business. It's not for you.
Why not? They made
I'm
it our business when they started making laws in the Constitution about it.
and I'm like, okay, like I get it. You don't want to hear those opinions from people that you said may have malicious intent or whatever. You see, like,
Right,
but
right.
it's like, but you're lumping everybody together, and some of us are just asking a question. Like, I feel like to me, Dave Chappelle was walking down his experience when it came to the trans community.
Mhm.
You said making jokes. I don't think they were mean spirited jokes.
They weren't. I've
Personally,
seen all of them, and I don't think they were mean.
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't, but and just people are so sensitive. Like Megan Rapinoe going on, was it CNN or something like that, trying to say that Dave Chappelle, Megan Rapinoe is the women's soccer player from the USA team.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
she was going on saying that Dave Chappelle is causing anti-trans attacks in this country, anti-trans violence in this country. I was like, bitch, knock it off.
Wait a minute. But you know what? I'm not even going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. I'll let them have that.
Right, but
Because, it's like I say, if it's not our business, why is it constantly being fed to us in some way
yeah.
daily? Like, I grew up, I was born in the 70s.
Hmm.
So I've seen that transition from homosexuality being accepted to where it was just on the DL until where it wasn't accepted. I've seen three transitions,
Hmm.
and the one thing I do remember is in that down low transition, we knew who were gay.
Yeah.
We didn't pick on them. We might have made a joke here and there, called somebody a sissy here and there. And yes, I can agree and admit that maybe that hurt some feelings back then. Just because
Hmm.
we did it and they were okay with it or seemed to be okay with it doesn't make it right. But what
Right.
I'm getting at here is they made it our business when they forced it on us because it was already accepted. The
Mhm.
problem was, and I agree with them going to fight for rights to be able to get benefits when their spouses die. I agree with that 100%.
Mhm.
But as far as the benefit section, they should have left it at that because now all you're doing is trying to make people accept your lifestyle or your sexual preference or whatever they want to call it. I don't
Mhm.
want to ruffle no feathers, but what you're doing is you're trying to force people to accept something when I just don't. I'm not religious. I
Mhm.
just don't believe we should be with the same sex. And that's my belief. I don't have
Right.
a problem with you being that way, but that's just not the way I feel. And it doesn't mean I'm a hate. Oh, and that's one of my biggest things. Oh, you're a homophobe. I'm not afraid of no man. I'm 5'5". I fought niggas 6 feet tall. You think I'm afraid of somebody? So no, it's not a phobia. It's a dislike for something. And the
Right.
last time I checked, not liking something don't mean I'm afraid of something.
And it's like on some real shit. You just like I'm not even gonna cap to you. You just saying to me, Rally's fries or Checkers fries is the best in the fucking world. Fight me.
We all have our preference, and
You just
that's what we got to get back to, or should I say we got to get to that? Have we ever been to the point where we
no,
respect each other's preferences?
no.
I don't think we have
You-
either.
because you said when it comes to you know what I'm saying, let's take it back as far as the Civil War and them freeing slaves. You
Hmm.
had a substantial amount of people that were still against it. You said you got generations that came
True,
beyond that
true,
still feel that same sentiment. So
true,
like if
true.
we haven't gotten past that, how the fuck do you think something? I give maybe 15 years
Yeah,
of this. You know what I'm saying? So like
yeah, about 15. Yeah, I'd say 15. We about 15 good into this new era or
you
whatever we want to call it.
so like it's like but you said what you see my thing is this because a lot of these influencers you saying that they have such a big megaphone that so many people
Yeah,
follow them and it's but nobody knows how to think for themselves. You just saying now you could like I mentioned earlier, you can agree with certain sentiments, but you don't have to follow everything they say as law, which is why I like
right.
throughout 2016 to 2020, I like every joke I could find about Trump is I made it. But now that Biden's in there, any joke I could fucking find,
You
I'm
gonna put right,
exactly that
right,
shit is
right.
when you saying like bless his heart, but when he fell off that bike or when he fell on stage, oh, I giggled my ass off. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
No,
When Trump with his little baby hands was drinking his
the
water like this,
Look, the funniest thing I have seen in the White House in the last 8 years is them running around trying to explain away this cocaine they found in the White House.
oh my god, that has been hilarious. Them jokes just write themselves.
Exactly. Exactly. You
You
can't make this stuff up. Cocaine in the White House. Like, never have we ever heard of anything like that. So,
right, and then you said like even like not as extreme as that. Like they was oh, lock her up. You said when it came to Hillary about the you said the emails thing. And come to find out that you said Ivanka was doing the exact same shit in the White House. You said, but y'all trying to sweep that. I was like, no, 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 no. You said like no, give it the same energy.
I will, and speaking on the energy, I would 100% strongly say every president, okay, let's just say what Trump is going through, I can 100% say that I believe every president has done the exact same thing.
Uh,
Maybe not as to a level as high or as low. I don't know what level it is right now, but
mm,
I would gander that every president has done something where they could have potentially been in the same trouble as Trump is in right now.
it uses, which I definitely agree with. You say so, like I love how, especially like CNN or MSNBC tried to bury the story when they said that he said Biden has had some shit back just like
Yeah,
30, 40 years ago that he
yeah,
still had in his possession. I'm like,
yeah.
no, 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 y'all had to smoke. Let you said where there's smoke,
Just
there's
keep
fire.
that
Give
same energy, right?
yeah, you said, like I'm an equal opportunist. You said that's why like I've mentioned on my platform, and I've also had pushback from certain people. I was like the MAGA morons that went up in the Capitol, you know what I'm saying, trying
Mhm.
to talk about hang Mike Pence. They deserve, you said, jail time just like the morons that sit there and was destroying their own cities, contradicting the you saying the statement you were trying to make in the name of Black Lives Matter. You said,
Mhm.
and like, trust me, I'm black as hell. You said, I believe Black lives do matter because once again, I have to clarify this shit because you motherfuckers are idiots. So when I say Black Lives Matter, it does not mean only Black Lives Matters. It means, yo, we here too. But see, that's
But
the
I mean,
problem.
but
See,
it's
that's the
sad
problem
that
with the
we have
left.
to explain that because the meaning simply means y'all don't give a fuck about us, and we're
Yeah.
telling you you should. That's all it means.
But see,
But
that's the
and
problem with the
anybody
left.
that can misconstrue Black Lives Matter to mean anything other than hey, I want you to respect me, my life like I respect yours, is
Mhm.
just a racist ass motherfucker to me.
I definitely agree with that. But see,
That's just
the
it.
problem with the left to me is phrasing. You just like now if they'd have came out Black Lives Matter too, there's not a whole lot of argument you could say after that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly. Unless, like I say, you're racist and you don't like the fact that we're saying black lives. Now, granted, I will say this: those Black Lives people didn't make it no easier. They gave them plenty of
Oh,
cannon fodder to
dude.
make the Black Lives Matter movement mute. Now, I
I
mean,
mean, like y'all motherfuckers buying multi-million-dollar mansions and you're doing like, dude,
and you're not even throwing pennies to your little sub organization so they can keep their mouth shut. You got
right.
to, that's how it came out. Your little sub organization is the one blew the whistle first. Like you're supposed to keep them satisfied.
Right. And see that's the difference when it becomes with the right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because like if they start a movement or something like they'll get politicians in their pockets and and put actual money into it. You say,
Yeah.
yeah, you said they'll do whatever they got to do. You said, but they'll keep their shit under wraps. And you said we find out about it later. But you said the left is so loud and proud with every fucking thing. You
Right.
said they ended up shooting themselves in the foot every time.
Right. I mean, but a lot of things that are always off put as conspiracy theories
Hmm.
often come out to be true. I give you the greatest conspiracy theory ever, Area 51.
Hmm.
What happened 10, 15 years ago? They finally unsecret made it all unsecret,
Hmm.
and sure enough,
Declassified
the
it.
conspiracy theory was true.
Hmm.
They very beginning of Black Lives Matter, people were telling people and I'm not going to mention any names because I can't for sure say it's the truth because I didn't give a damn enough to do the research.
We'll say
But there
alleged.
were, there were whispers of who was funding the organization to begin with. So if anybody who knew who that person was and who he's funded throughout history should have known where Black Lives Matter was going to end up.
Yeah.
So that to me, it was no surprise that now you don't even hear about the organization no more. Now we still utter the words Black Lives Matter, but the organization is pretty much non-existent now.
Right.
They shot themselves in the foot.
They really did. And he said like, and them doing that basically took away from what we were trying to get accomplished.
Exactly.
You know, because like
Exactly.
they feel like, oh, we scream Black Lives Matter, so we get these weak ass politicians on the left. It's like, oh well, you said we know black people have been oppressed and been ostracized and this, that, and the third for all these years and stuff like that. You just said we know there's laws and legislation we could put in place to actually give some real change to these black Americans. You said that deserve it. You said regardless of you whatever, especially if they're descendants of slaves and things like that. But no, we're not going to do that. You said when to give you a dog whistle. We're gonna put Black Lives Matter on the
Right.
street.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
we're gonna hey, we support you. We're gonna put Black Lives Matter. You said on the
They give
end
us
zone of the football
tokens.
field. Yeah, yeah, they give us
They
yeah.
give us tokens. We get hella tokens. Like and everybody, Barack Obama, unfortunately, he wasn't even a token for us. His whole purpose was for something else, and it had nothing to do with us. So I think we're just getting tired of the tokenism.
Mhm,
Like we're black people are start. You said it. We got to get with the left. Black people are starting to realize, and the problem is it's too little. It's
mhm,
not at a pace where we can make any change. Like we won't be making change next year in an election, but
mhm.
maybe 6 years from now we will. But people are starting to see, damn, these Democratic politicians keep getting our votes, and yet nothing keeps happening. Example, we got up in arms about the
The George Floyd
Supreme
justice thing.
Court and
Yeah,
with the admissions and the
affirmative action.
affirmative action and all, right? I mean, everybody. Did you notice not very many black people got up in arms about it this time around?
I think
Because
we're tired of it.
well, it's not that we're tired of it, but they know where it comes from. They
Hmm.
want to swear up and down it was the Republicans did this, but is California and Michigan not ran by Democrats?
They
They
are.
both did that before the Supreme Court turned this over.
Hmm.
So they're starting. When that happened, my first thought was, all right, let me see how bad we gonna act up. and I know influencers, a few of them, but I said, you know what? People are starting to see these are the same people that's doing it to us. So we're getting to that point, but we're still a long way off. We're
But
still
you
when
see,
we
that's
start voting our policies and not politicians,
mhm.
we might get somewhere.
Because you think of these most normal black people, our views align more with the conservative party.
Conservative views, yeah.
We tend to carry more conservative views, but the liberals, they talk a good game.
Oh, they talking very well. No, the liberals, not only do they talk a good game, but they have a good scary movie book.
Yeah.
They can pull the scare tactics out their ass and have you work. You remember 8 years ago? Oh, Donald Trump gonna have y'all back in chains. I ain't felt the chain yet, and we in another presidency. But
Right.
people were afraid of that, and
Mhm.
it's already started now. Well, oh, they gonna have y'all. I said, see, they said this the last 4 years. Let me just wait until after the election, see how I'm gonna end up, because
You s
I ain't falling for the okey doke no more. But then I'm a felon. I'm still waiting for my record to be expunged. Hopefully, by the time we vote next year, I will be able to vote. But I,
Okay.
I can admit I didn't vote in the last election, so I don't have a dog in that fight. No, I don't like Biden because of his '90s politics when he wrote
Absolutely.
the
The 94
anti
crime bill.
right. But that's my reason for not liking Biden. Not because he's a Democrat, not because I like the Republican, but because of that. Because too many brothers went to jail for a dime sack of weed.
Yeah.
It was crazy. No, niggas was going to jail for weed, nickel sacks and dime sacks of weed, catching charges for weed back in the day.
And
So
that's when they started implementing, like, places like California, the 3 strikes rule. If you got
right,
behind on child support
hey,
and it would
that's
happen to be your
what it
third
was.
strike.
So yeah, he soured me then. So he could
Yeah.
have never gotten my support. But I will never say I won't vote Democrat or Republican,
Mhm.
because if there was a Democrat running for president and said he could wipe everybody's credit clean and give everybody a new start, he'd get my vote.
Yeah.
Because we can't do nothing out here without credit.
You said, well, I mean, like, right now at this point, you're saying like you can talk your shit. Now, I need to know what plan you have in action, because you said like you got to get through Congress. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
Look, at this point, we need shit in writing before we even vote, because you can always turn back after the election.
because I ain't even gonna cap to you, because you said during Trump's 2016 run, he was like, you said we're gonna build the wall, and guess who's gonna pay for it? Mexico. Nah, nigga, we paid for that shit.
See, we're just victims of the best liars in the country.
Yeah.
Because that's all they do is lie to us. And once you understand who they really work for, you get it.
Mhm.
Their job is not to work for us. Their job is to get in the office to work for the money.
Yeah.
Because what life for us boils down to in this world, not just here in the U.S., is money.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around money. Like you
Right.
can't separate a single thing that we do from money, and that's a serious issue now.
Absolutely. Like I was telling people, like they was like, "Well, do you know?" Because like for whatever reason, I had a shit ton of white people in my DMs and in my comments trying to tell me how much that Trump cared about black people. Dude, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. She's like, you need to love Trump. He cares about black people. But I haven't had a conversation with the nigga, so I don't know. You said,
I don't right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how this man feel about black people.
you know,
And I think that is for the media, not just Trump, but you have it on both sides, calling
mhm,
people this and calling people that, and we'll, as regular people, will run with that stuff
mhm,
without using our common sense and logic and saying, you know what, they're just telling me that because they don't like them or they don't want me to support them.
right,
Instead of us going back, because the information is there now.
yep,
There's no reason you can't look up what's her name, Kamala Harris, and go all the way back to when she started as a politician to see what she's done.
mhm,
There's no way you can't go to any politician and know what their records are on this and what their records are on that. So
yep,
we need to get away from this voting Democrat and Republican and vote for who's doing stuff for us. I'll give you a great example. People will say, "Oh, you vote Republican?" I damn sure do, because when you make over $180,000 a year, you want to pay less taxes as you can.
yep.
The Democrats want to make me pay more. Republicans don't. So why would I vote in opposition of my own self?
because the left will phrase well, no, you said that's when they're better at phrasing when it comes to shit like that because they'll sit
Right.
there and say, "Well, the Republicans are," you said they're only you said lowering taxes on the rich.
On the rich.
So you as a regular person, you was like you're reading the headlines, not the fine print down below. So you're just going with the headline.
Right. Because the regular person who works a 9 to 5 W-2 job doesn't understand that percentile you're in that takes money out of your check once you reach a certain amount.
Hmm.
And that average person ain't making over 100,000, so they'll never see that 15%,
Right.
22% percentile where you got to pay 22% of your money in taxes. That's a lot of fucking money on $200,000. That's $25,000.
And you said it's like the one I loved going back and forth people with. They was like he said, "Well, Trump donated his entire salary." Okay, do you realize how much it costs for the Secret Services to go to his goddamn golf clubs and resorts that we fucking paid for it? Knock it off.
I mean, like I say, dudes, we get a lot of bait and switch in Washington,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's our fault that it keeps happening. And as a people, whether you're white, black, and now we got all these immigrants coming in, as people, we got to stop depending on what we're told because the information is out there. There's no reason we're ignorant no more.
Right.
Like you got 4-year-old, 5-year-old kids no more than grown people because they always on the phone and doing something. And
Right.
so there's no excuse for us to be this way anymore. We
I
choose
mean,
to be
you're
this way.
absolutely right. It's like now circling because we're talking about bait and switch and people outraging and raging
Right.
over every fucking thing. This whole Dylan Mulvaney situation with the Bud Light thing, dude. I laugh from a good healthy place on that shit there. And let me tell you
Well,
why. Let me tell you why.
okay.
Okay, yes, the motherfucker got famous on TikTok for you saying, I guess, documenting each day as a woman or whatever, whatnot. But
Uh,
so Bud Light decided during Pride Month to send this one motherfucker cans with their face on it, not put them in stores, not do none of that shit.
right.
Send it to this one motherfucker that sit there
And
with.
did they not think he was? I mean, she or I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Whatever would not showcase that because I'm
Right.
pretty sure they didn't expect it to get out.
I mean, they had to. I mean, because the motherfuckers are influencers, motherfuckers putting everything on social media. It's like my third day as a woman, I'm running through a flower bed with no shoes on. Just come on.
Wow. See, I didn't know anything about this person until that controversy came out. I didn't
But
know who no Dylan nobody was, hadn't heard of her, anything.
but see, my thing is this: I don't drink Bud Light anyway, so I don't really give a fuck.
Me
So
either. Me
so
right. Me either.
like most regular Americans, if we drink a beer, nine times if it's a traditional domestic beer, it's going to be a Budweiser. We don't drink Bud Light.
I can't even do domestic beer. It gives me a headache.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel you.
Anything domestic will give me a headache.
Is it me personally? If I did drink a Bud Light, it'd be a Bud Light Platinum. It's a smoother.
Oh,
You
okay.
said it's like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
most I don't drink that anyway. But it's just
Right.
like it was like it goes back to that culture war shit. You said like the right was like, oh my god, you saying they're throwing it in our face, and the left was like, no, you said you need to embrace that. To me, I don't give a shit. I don't drink that shit no way.
Right. I
It's
feel
like
the same way about that as I feel about y'all argument about accepting it. Like it's not my business. I
right,
don't care. I don't go out searching to hang out with y'all. So why should I care?
exactly. You said like at the end of the day, you said like Pop, you said like I've been talking to Pops a lot here. Like, well, you not talk to Pops all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I told him about that we was gonna do an interview, and Pops was like, "Just do me a favor, dudes. Please do not start talking politics solutions." I was like, "Come on." He's like, "This is me. I'm going for it. Fuck it. I don't give a shit."
Yeah, some years ago, we used to have some heated political discussions, but
Oh,
again, I'm not there no more. I've really gotten to the point where there's not much I give a fuck about other than this company.
mhm.
My goal is to get this company up where I can leave it and still make money and get the hell out of this country. That's my only goal at this point.
Right. You said it's like, and it goes down to like anything you talk about in life. Because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said I love cars. That's one of the things I love. And I go to these little car meets, these car shows here in Ohio, and it's just like you'll see you said an eclectic group of people, but then you see
Hmm.
you have sub pockets that you said just like I'll sit there and see somebody that's literally pulls up in a replica of the General Lee.
Right,
And you could tell they bout that shit through and through. They redneck, you
right,
saying rebel
right.
flag through and through. Don't tread on me, type you motherfuckers.
And I'm gonna give you a little history on that. You know what's sad, and that it just goes to show none of us know our history.
Mhm.
That flag that they
It's not even
claim
the
to
right
be their
flag.
history and all, that
Mhm.
flag has only, and any one of them can come at me right now and debate me, and I can show the research.
Mhm.
That flag has never been flown in battle.
Mhm.
The only people who have flown that flag was the KKK. In reality, the Confederate flag was not made that way.
No.
The Klan is the one that came out with this Confederate flag and call it their heritage. So anybody that walks around here defending that flag, they either don't know the truth or they just appear racist. One of the two.
Exactly.
Because that had nothing to do with anybody's culture except for the Klan.
Exactly. And he said, I've had that conversation with people too, but like going back to what I was saying is like
Okay.
they'll sit there, like I said, you'll have these sub pockets. Like I said, they'll get out of the General Lee, and you can tell that that's their mentality. You said that's my heritage. You say or whatever. That's the same motherfuckers you saying to talk about guns. My freedoms, my freedoms.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
But you said they'll sit there and then even though we're all speaking the same language because we're talking about cars, but then you'll see somebody with an 86 Cutlass sitting on 26s. You say, yo, that's his style. But, oh my God, you destroyed that car. But
Okay. Yeah.
you just it's like, why not appreciate, you know what I'm saying? We're all part of the you saying this culture, just like and that ties back into the whole LGBT thing. Hey, if that's how you get down, I appreciate what you saying, what you're doing. I don't have to hate on what you're doing. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like
Look, there's
there's
a
certain
simple
shit you're
answer to
gonna
that.
do that I'm not okay with.
We've been hardwired to be in constant conflict with each other.
I mean, yeah.
Like that's the only way I see it. Like we have literally for hundreds of years now been hardwired to always be in conflict with each other.
Mhm.
So something as simple as like not agreeing with how somebody likes their car is a conflict that you just can't help. It comes naturally at this point.
Right.
And like you said, it's probably not even coming from a place of malicious intent. It's just that we're just so negative as a people. Like we're
Yeah.
negative as hell. We walk around. I don't get it,
And
and they
it's
wonder why. They talk about climate change. No, that ain't climate change. That's all that negative ass energy overtaking this world.
you just I look at it almost like boxing. You know, like when they'll box for a couple of minutes and then the bell rings and then each opponent goes to their respective corner.
Right.
We're so fucking stuck in our respective corner, using to come back and have we're too scared to come back after the bell rings to have a fucking conversation. We're stuck in that goddamn corner.
Great analogy. I like that.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? It's
I
like
can
we
go for that.
you said seconds out, you said the bell has rung, it's time to come back and engage in conversation, but nobody wants to do that.
Because this everything that we're leading up to, as far as the disagreements, the hatred, this stuff could have been done, could have stopped 100 years ago. There's been too many generations where it could have stopped
Mhm.
and not carry on for us to still be doing it. So it's not a matter of will it ever end, because it's not. People get off on being evil. Like there's evil in the world, or there's bad, whatever you want to call it. There's opposite of good out there, and then we're gonna always, because you can't have good without it.
I mean, yeah, you saying
Like you're just gonna
the
have
yin
that
and the
shit.
yang. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just gonna be there. And unfortunately, the racism thing, as bad as it is, it'll be another 100 years before we get any resemblance of no racism in this country.
Right.
And we won't be here to see it, but you can see it starting there. You can see the ground roots of it now.
Mhm.
Our races are being mixed more.
Mhm.
The way we're being taught against each other is changing, which is why I believe it's the conservatives don't want them teaching CRT, because I do believe if they taught the real truth behind history, a
Mhm.
lot of these little white boys and girls wouldn't be growing up thinking evil about black people. A lot of
Exactly.
these foreigners wouldn't be coming into this country thinking evil about black people. because it's being taught. If it's being taught in school, the real truth,
Mhm.
everybody's on the same level, and everybody can come to a mutual respect for each. Because the story in itself deserves mutual respect.
Yeah.
I love when people get into this reparations argument, and the far right said, "Well, it wasn't us. We wasn't there." Okay, that may be true, but you're here now, and you're still teaching this shit.
Mhm.
So you are a part of it. You're not helping to get rid of it, so you are still a part of it. So when we get to that point, it might change, but I don't see it changing.
Nah,
We gonna die. You and I will die with this country still being racist as hell.
oh yeah, and it's like, and I've gotten into it with people because I've done the research, and they don't talk about it as much on the left as they should. But you saying the 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 real subject of CRT is not taught unless you're in fucking law school. So
Hmm.
what the you say like you're teaching just history from K through 12. You're teaching history. You don't learn
Right.
about specifically CRT unless you're in fucking law school. But they
And that's
heard the
because of Black's Law, because they teach Black's Law in law school.
exactly. But you just and they're like, oh my god, they're trying to teach our kids CRT. The fuck are you talking about? You said, but you want them to think this country was founded and we all lived in a bed of dandelions and roses the whole fucking time. Knock it the fuck off. Period. Full stop.
But I mean, why are people afraid of that though? Because again, you weren't here, so you don't. It doesn't hurt you to find out the truth. If
Mhm.
anything, it makes you. It could make you a better person to know the truth. But especially if you're one of those hateful people, because now you can look at yourself and say, "Well, shit, I really don't have a reason to be this way. Let me see if I can change."
Right.
But when you still got a whole side out there wanting things to keep up that way,
Mhm.
it's not. It doesn't make a difference. And look at the fight this crap causes.
Yeah.
Again, the way they divide us, they got us divided on CRT, they got us divided on abortion, they got us divided on affirmative rights, they got us divided on damn near everything.
Yeah.
But then they don't do anything to fix the problems.
I-
For every election cycle, they divide us with the same problems, but then they get elected and don't do anything to fix the problem.
yeah. And you said going back into my boxing analogy, you said it's like it's almost like a Floyd Mayweather fight. You
Uh-huh.
said, and the reason I'm gonna say it like that is because you said because once Floyd comes out to you said to go back up against his opponent, he's doing a lot of moving. There's not a
Right,
whole lot of your shit going back and forth.
right, right,
Then the bell rings again. You said they come back. He
right.
dances around for another round.
uh, what do they call it? There's a saying for that. I can't think of it right now, but all you're doing is moving around and not sticking and moving. That's what it's
Yeah,
called, sticking and moving. They throw something in there to scare us, and then they move again.
yeah.
Like, come on, man, what are y'all doing? So yeah, man, I don't get down with politics like that no more. I could care less who gets elected, who does what, because when it boils down to it, they used to say that, oh well, don't worry about the federal election. It's your state politicians. I'm from Mississippi. In
Hmm.
the town I'm from in Mississippi is shitty as hell right now, and it's ran by black people. So you can't tell me it's not the politicians. You
Hmm.
can't tell me these people care more than the other people. They all to me are the same.
Yeah,
And I'm at the
absolutely.
point now where, like I told you a little earlier, it's just me now. I don't care about shit but me at this point. And they finding a way to get rid of that too, because they gonna fuck us over in a while.
Oh yeah. Which you said, which is one of the other reasons I decided to delve into this interview space. Because, like I said, because a lot of times I feel like our opinions or our voices are being silenced. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I feel like people they want us to go with the you said whatever is popular. And like I said, because like I
Right,
said, to me, this country's like gumbo. You said you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a
right,
little bit of that, and you say, but if you put it together right, we can enjoy the plate.
right. And the sad part about it is, dudes, we don't have to intermingle. Like you don't have to hate nor intermingle. You can just be in this place. This world is big enough for each individual to have their own piece of the pie. We don't have to. We don't need any of this stuff. We choose this crap.
I mean, you're right, but that's why I used the analogies that I did because me, I don't like okra at all. But if it's in gumbo, I'm not gonna go ew. I don't want the thing at all.
Right, exactly, exactly. That's a mutual respect.
You just
Like I mutually respect this gumbo, but I don't like that okra. Let me just put this over here, and I'm gonna eat the rest. What's
Right,
wrong with that? I mean,
right,
some of us, the old saying goes, common sense ain't so common.
right.
I
Or something I
understand that
always
more and more now than I did a year ago.
or something I always say, common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everybody's garden. Use it. It's like using that analogy, like I said with the gumbo thing. It's like to me, like I'll sit there and you ever been to a barbecue or a cookout and you see somebody and like, oh my god, their macaroni and their baked beans touch and they about to lose their shit. I'm like, dude, you are a fucking psychopath.
I laugh, but I used to be like that. I used to hate my food touching.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I grew out of it, but I used to be that way too. My moms would kill me on that.
He's just like, I
But
sit there
yeah.
and I look at him. He's like, you are a fucking psychopath. Cover your ears, little dub. You just like, but no, it was like, but I'm gonna go back to the Kiki Palmer thing because
Okay.
there was a point I wanted to make, and
All
it was
right.
I sent you a video the other day, and it was but it's not this. It wasn't that video, but it was this same guy, and he was basically saying that about the Kiki Palmer situation, saying that basically for him going to social media about it, he basically showed us he's not the king of his domain because because what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to support them in public, but check
Mm.
them in private. To me, you got on you basically went a whole female route, throwing your little tantrum on the internet,
Who
looking
said, you know what?
looking for backup on Twitter.
Let me interrupt you there. Hold that thought,
Okay.
because it's about what you said. My question, based off of so far what you just said, is who says we're supposed to be that way? Where's the book? I never got this book on how we're supposed to be in life in each situation.
Hmm.
Because you and I aren't going to act the same in the same in the same exact situation. You and I won't act the same. So where's the book that tells where he should have did a certain thing? That's what we got to get away from. Oh, he's a sissy. Oh, he's weak. No, he's not. The man wanted respect. How he went about getting it may be controversial, but all that told me was that man wanted respect, not just for him, but his daughter got to go. His son, what have you got? A daughter,
Yes,
son?
son. Yes, son.
Son got to grow up. His son got to see that.
Right, but
Son
you see,
got to get teased by his friends because his mama was out there thotting.
yeah, but
So
also
it's
on the
all about
but
respect and protection. They swear they
and you're
want
right.
protection.
Mhm.
He was protecting his child.
And you're right about that, but you said here's where you said the conflict lies. Just a week prior, he posted on his own Instagram of Kiki Palmer clapping her cheeks.
I agree. I agree. I
See, you
definitely
like,
agree.
yeah, you could want all those things, but you're
I
saying
definitely agree.
just
Yeah,
like, dude,
he did open that door. I and that part I have to agree on.
mhm,
I just was ranting about the respect part of why he would have wanted, but you're right. He kind of opened the door when he did that.
you know,
That's what really turned me. That's what really made me like, you know what? Fuck it. You can't want that, and you the one doing it. You started it, but you can demand respect. Like
you
even
can.
though he did, because think about it. That's no different than you going out with your woman and she dressed fly as hell.
Mhm.
You don't mind her dressing that way with you with her, but you might feel some kind of way if you sitting your ass on the couch and she walk out the door that way. You might not say nothing. You might not tell her she can't do it, but you're going to feel some kind of way
Right.
because you're not with your woman looking fly. You know, brothers is going to be on your woman. So that was no different of a situation. It just should have been handled different because all he was asking for was respect. And
And nobody's faulting him for that. And then of course people were talking about, well, how
exactly,
come he didn't say nothing before she left the house? For
it's the
one,
hypocrisy
my
that gets me.
exactly. But for one, he was like, "Well, why didn't he say nothing before she left the house?" And I was like, "For one, my thing, I think they live in LA. Usher's show is in Vegas, so I highly
Right,
doubt
so
she
she would have
walked
been
out the
staying
house."
away from that night. That night, then. Right,
Exactly. So
right.
like that argument falls flat. You know what I mean? He's like,
Now, let me ask you this: is he anybody in the industry? Who is he? Is he
I've
just a normal guy?
I've never heard of this Negro a day in my life.
And see, that right there is another reason he should have just kept his mouth shut. Because now he'll never get a popular celebrity in his life again.
Nah, because
None of them will
the
ever mess
women
with.
in the comment section and on are on his ass like back pockets.
He will never get another celebrity again. You can't keep your mouth shut. You want to put me on blast in public.
This motherfucker won't be able to get an IG model with 2 followers. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just like I said, it's just one of them things, man. It's just like
right.
now
That's all about respect, man.
yeah.
Like I said, if she could have did everything she did, and I'll tell you the moment it got disrespectful. When she went and hugged that guy, she put her crotch right up against him.
Mhm.
That's where it got. Nothing she did up until that point was disrespectful to me,
Right.
because that's just what women do when they're in the clubs.
Mhm.
I gotta be. I gotta use my common sense and know that's how women be in the club. I didn't see them,
Mhm.
and they can walk away from that man and never see him again after they didn't ground it all up on him. So that to me, that's not disrespectful. But
Mhm.
she was lusting after that
Oh,
man.
she
You can
went
see
full
the lust in
fangirl.
her eyes.
She went full fangirl. And you saying like, was it? I don't always agree with Charlemagne the God. He's had some points that are funny to me. You said there's some things that I do agree with. You said it was just the point that he made was the real villain in this shit is Usher. Charlemagne the God said, Usher told you motherfuckers 20 years ago, don't leave your girl around me, true player for real. That's my nigga for real.
Believe people when they tell you something, huh?
Yeah.
But if you watched it, Usher, he didn't been through that. You can tell Usher didn't been through that argument himself.
Oh
Because when
yeah.
she came up to him, he immediately turned to the side where he wasn't touching her, and he stayed that way the whole time. So I shots out to Usher for being a professional, because he knew the ramifications of what could happen in that
Oh yeah.
situation.
Now, a lot of people, like some people, felt away because I guess Saweetie, she just bobbed her head and didn't sing the song, or when he came to her, because I guess she's with YG or whatever, and I guess didn't want that same Kiki backlash or whatever.
Right, right.
And then Minnie Harlow, that you said the model with Vitiligo, who's dating Kyle Kuzma, and
Yeah,
she
jumped in his lap.
jumped in his lap. And I can't even cap to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strong heterosexual man, but I love some Usher too. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at that show, he
Oh
comes.
yeah.
Usher singing to us, goddamn it! Fuck that. It's 7 o'clock on the dot.
I'm in the drop top. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I know them words.
You said like, hey, like, dude, let's have a good time. Fuck it, you know.
But it's good you say that, because that's a part of this issue.
Mhm.
A lot of influencers made that a part of their critiques of the whole situation. That just showed the difference in type of women too,
Mhm.
because those women didn't want those issues. Either they've been there or they've been taught enough to not put themselves in that position.
Mhm.
Whether or not Kiki just didn't care or she was not taught, it remains to be seen. I don't know. But you can tell there's a difference in mentality in those women compared to her.
Right.
They aren't Hollywood all up like Kiki. Kiki is in the limelight a lot more than they are. They
Yeah.
got more normal lives than she is. She's got a room to mess up like that, and they realize they don't. So that's Hollywood is money and sex. And once
Yeah.
you get that through your head, what Kiki did was nothing. She just building her stock. That's all she did with Usher that night. And that's her job.
And once
That's what
again,
she's into.
exactly.
And
And once
you fucked
again,
with her and had a baby with her knowing that's who she was. So you gotta
hence
learn, you gotta take your lumps on this one.
you say hence once again, you saying fellas, just because you put a baby in a sock does not upgrade them to a wife.
Don't mean that sock gonna grow into a baby.
Big facts. Big facts. You said that like
But yeah, man, it's just, and if I might bring a topic into the situation,
okay.
that's one of the things that I look around and see, and I've gotten, dating is a big thing for influencers now. It's
Mhm.
always critiquing what some women done said or what some men done said. And I've gotten to the point now where I don't care to date, because you don't know how to date anymore. Everything is, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. My favorite one. I ain't doing no 50-50. Hold up, bitch. You doing 100% now. You won't settle for 50%? In what world does that make sense to anybody?
Right.
I'm just curious. In what world does 100% sound better than 50%? But little stuff like that just turns me, and they want, oh, well, why men ain't dating women no more? We ain't got time for this nonsense no more. You don't want to make things work, then I ain't gonna work at all. The work I put in is for me.
Exactly.
Like and you can't keep dealing with women like a Keke Palmer because they're getting more and more like that. Our normal
boss
women want to
chicks.
be the celebrities.
Yeah, the boss chicks.
Right. They want to be the boss chick. Exactly. Which again, Deuce, I love a boss chick.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta be able to leave that boss shit at work. When you come to fuck home, ain't no boss in this house. We together.
Yeah.
You can't boss me around. I'm not a yes man. So leave that masculine shit at the at the job.
Exactly. Use it because, like, at the end of the day, us as men, we've had women in the past, and stuff like that. It's like you've had a hard day at work, but where do you leave that day you had at work? At the fucking doorstep. You,
Now, we both know that sometimes that's hard. That's easier said than done.
of course.
But the expectation of knowing I can come home and we're both on equal footing now. I don't have to worry about you bossing me around or me bossing you around. Then that's peace to me.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't even got to mess with each other. Just me knowing I got somebody that cares for me, that supports me, and that has my back when I get home and I walk through those doors. That's perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
But women nowadays, just to be in a relationship is slavery, is what I keep hearing. Oh, I ain't gonna be no slave for a man. But you do those same things for yourself every day. Right. You cook for yourself. You clean for yourself. You put your own gas in your car. You do all of this stuff for yourself, but you're not a slave for you. But all of a sudden, to cook for a man is slaving. But I can't deal with the mentality of these women, man.
Aren't you eating too, for one? And you didn't I buy the groceries? You know what I'm saying?
It's just, to me, dating is just too confusing. So I gave up. It's not.
I feel you on that shit. It's just like I've seen down my social media timeline when women will sit there and talk about you say ladies, if he wanna clap them cheeks, you better make him pay a bill. Bitch, if I pay a bill, I live there for at least 30 days. You said fuck that. And I'm eating your kids' snacks.
But is that not whoring though?
Yes.
Like, if you're requiring money for something, is that not being a whore, a prostitute, whatever you want to call it?
Exactly.
That's where the problem therein lies for me. Like a good man, a man, period. Because a good man, a real man. A man is a fucking man. Yeah. Once you turn 21 years old, you're a man, regardless of what people think about you. So a man that gives a shit about you is going to do stuff for you. Yeah. And that's just the way it works. If you get with a man and he's doing for you and he stops, you done pissed him off. You done lost his favor somewhere. It's up to you to figure out what it is and fix it, or he gonna leave you.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Exactly, because they look at these influencers like, okay, I'll bring up one that's big in the media right now, kind of big. Bandman Kevo. I don't know if you heard of it. Bandman Kevo.
Oh no, I hadn't heard of that one.
Okay, well, he's, I guess, a rapper, but he's a well-known scammer. And he's done some time, this, that, and the third. And he's like literally, I guess, went on, I think it was Say Cheese or Adam 22. It was like literally, he said he spends about $20,000-$30,000 a year on pussy because he don't want. He was like, that way there's no expectation. I just want the pussy, so I'll pay for it.
I ain't mad. I can't be mad at him. I mean, I'm not going to trick off like that, but I can't be mad at the man.
I'm just like to me, I mean, hey, to each his own, but like nigga, also. Right. But I say, nigga, Pornhub is free, and that nut feels the same. I'm just gonna say.
Hey, and I'm good for about a week after that. I don't even think about it no more after about a week of that.
It's like, which is funny because because niggas, we need to have a simp-tervention in 2023 because you niggas is simping so hard out here. You said you got these OnlyFans models and these IGs models. You said these bitches is taking extravagant trips and shit like that off of your fucking because you paying to see some shit you can see for free on fucking Pornhub. You said like because on some real nigga shit. You said we're adults here. You said like I ain't gonna cap to you. Like after I watch my little video on Pornhub and I use it and like I bust my nut, I'm like, okay, get this disgusting shit off my phone.
Thank you. I'm turning it off before I finish wiping myself. This nasty ass shit, man. I hate this shit. Exactly. But I wonder, Deuce, if it's if it's no different than what the women used to do.
Mhm.
The women would meet a man and knowing he don't want her, but she do everything in her power to make him want her. I wonder if that's what OnlyFans is, because some of these women, like you say, you can look at Pornhub and get your rocks off from what you're doing on OnlyFans.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if some of these guys are spending all of this money with these women, hoping that one day she'll look at it and say, "Oh, he spent X amount of dollars. Let me give him a shot." Like, are they trying to turn hoes into housewives by spending all of this money?
I mean, using that kind of logic right there, I mean, these
Because
niggas
I
might.
don't understand why you would do it.
It could be. I mean, because you said you can. From what I hear, because like I said, I don't fuck with that shit. But from what I hear, because like I see these stories and shit, because like they talk about, I guess you can get exclusive content for each individual person. I guess because you can have a message, like just like regular social media. You have regular DMs from each individual person that subscribed to your shit or whatever.
Okay,
They
okay.
use it, so maybe they're like, okay, I'm gonna use it. It's like that old person at the gas station that you just trying to put $20 on pump seven, and this motherfucker got 37 lottery tickets. It could be the same premise. I don't know.
Like, man, would you just hurry the fuck up? Why you can't do that when ain't nobody here?
And bitch, the Powerball dropped. Now, how come you motherfuckers only got one clerk behind the motherfucking counter? I got shit to do.
No, it's gonna be busy. Yeah, man. It's I'm not I paying for it and all of that. I don't get any enjoyment out of that.
Mm,
Um I've gotten more, I guess you say, mental control over the
mm,
that need and that urge. Because I mean, you know me, I've been driving a truck for 23 years. I've spent more of my life alone than I have with somebody.
mm,
So it's not that hard for me to not give a damn about fucking and women. You know how your normal reaction at some point in life used to be, you see a bad bitch, you look at him, oh, now I can look at him and keep on walking. And I can hear him in the back of my head, in my mind, saying he didn't even look at me. That's how cold I am now. Like, oh, fuck
right.
that shit. You know, because it's everywhere you look now. I can't scroll my Facebook timeline without seeing some bitch in. You know, I'm just showing your ass. You 45 years old. Why you showing your ass to everybody on Facebook?
Right.
You know, I just it's just too many options and too much free stuff out there now for me to give a damn now.
I mean, you're absolutely right. It's like, okay, now you brought up age. Okay. Now, where do you sit on somebody like a Tracy Ellis Ross or Taraji P. Henson, or do you think even a Gabrielle Union coming out the house half naked?
Nowhere, because they're celebrities. They're not normal people. They can afford to look stupid, look whatever they want, and still be okay in life.
Hmm.
Like that I can't. There's nothing a celebrity can do that will make me change the way I operate.
Right.
Nothing.
Now,
Because I can't even compare, even fathom the comparison of their life and mine. Anybody that makes $1 million or more, period.
right.
Like I,
Now,
I don't know how those people live. What I think about them doesn't even matter, because their life and my life is two different lives. They don't,
absolutely.
even though they may have grown up black, they could have grown up poor. They don't live that way anymore. They don't
Mm,
know that life anymore, so we can't relate.
yeah.
But my problem is their influences. And the issue I have with celebrities that have those platforms is they do this and it's okay, but they're not doing the disclaimers. They're not saying to the regular people, hey, you got to live your life. This is my life. You got to live yours. What happens to me and for me is not going to happen for you. They shouldn't have to say that, because common sense should kick in, but nobody's looking around to see the influence. But then again, the conspiracy theories, if you believe what the conspiracy theories are, that's all a part of the plan. That's their job. So
Mm,
how can I have an opinion about what they were? They were one of the fortunate ones to be able to get that position and have that influence, because not very many people get to Hollywood.
right.
Millions get there, but not many get to be where a Tracy Ellis Ross or a Gabrielle Union, or even if I don't like these people for whatever reason, they've done something I'll never do.
Mm,
They're a different type of people. And then what I'm learning, a lot of these people are fucking damn near geniuses. These are people that went to Juilliards and
Mm-hmm.
damn, these people is fucking went to Ivy League. Angela Bassett went to, I believe, Yale or Harvard. Like these is geniuses out here in these
But you said,
positions.
but no, you know, I will not. I will accept no Angela Bassett slander on my platform. Using Angela, using Angela
No, I
Bassett
would
has not
never
had a hot
slander
girl.
Angela Bassett.
Using Angela Bassett hasn't had a hot girl summer yet. You said, and I hope she don't.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She was out of character. She wasn't Angela Bassett, but she had the hot girl summer in Jamaica. Remember? Her name was Stella. Yeah, Angela, that's my girl. I admire her, and she's a great example in the black community. Her and her husband been together for 20 something, 30 something years.
Mhm.
So yeah, no scandals. Same as Denzel, no scandals. You know, we got some. There's some Hollywood actors that, even though they may not pick up the mantle and stomp for us, they don't act the fool and make us look bad either.
Right.
And
And
that I can commend.
and it's like that. I love, 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 love scrolling down my timeline. Anything that mentions this LeBron James. You look at the fucking comment section. These motherfuckers are going dumb in the comment section.
Well, I grew up in Michael Jordan era.
Mm-hmm. So did I.
I would never say anything bad about LeBron
Mm-hmm.
because the bottom line, the last 20 years, he's been the best in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't deny that. I don't do a best ever or a greatest of all time because there's been every era has had its greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But you cannot discount Michael Jordan if you're gonna just use those two.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, and it's only a personal choice, put Michael Jordan over LeBron because I came up in that era. I'm not even into basketball as much now as I was back then.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way I could say LeBron's the GOAT when I don't even like basketball. Michael Jordan made me want to watch basketball.
You're right.
LeBron don't make me want to watch basketball.
LeBron makes me want to watch highlights.
Not the whole game though. Huh?
And I like LeBron. You said like I'm not a shoe guy, but if you were to put me, you said like you had a whole wall of LeBrons and a whole wall of Jays, I'm going with the Jays.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Period. That's just me. But you said, I'm not even a shoe guy like that. You said, but it's just like, and they talk about, oh, well, Michael Jordan has 6 rings. Robert Ory has 7 of them motherfuckers. But don't nobody mention Robert Ory has 7.
As a journeyman, though, Robert didn't get them all at one team. See that's just that's just one of those things people throw in there to discount the 6 rings. Mm-hmm. But the important part of that 6 rings is Mike did it all in the same place. Right. Nobody has done that other than Kobe. And Kobe got what, 5 in the same place or 4?
4 or 5, something like that. Yeah,
4 or 5, right? So that's a feat. I mean, you can't. Nobody has been able to do that. Ory got his 7 with what, 4 different teams, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
The Rockets,
the Lakers,
the Rockets, the Lakers.
I think the Spurs, wasn't it?
Was it the Spurs?
I think it was the Spurs. I could be wrong.
Yeah, had to be the Spurs. So yeah, but again, it's like I say, Ory wasn't the man on none of those teams.
No,
Jordan was literally the man, and without him, none of those 6 would have happened. Those teams probably could have won a ring without Ory.
Yeah, but now you got you motherfuckers like Scottie Pippen talking shit.
He just salted. Scottie just salted at his old teammate's son is banging his ex-wife. That's just salt in the game.
And then on top of that, a judge just awarded her 50% of his 401k.
He ain't happy.
What kind of goofy shit is that?
He ain't happy at all. Now all Mike got to do is tell his son, don't marry her because she got her own money.
Exactly. You see,
but yeah,
they talk about having kids together and shit. It was like, nigga, dude.
And he's being salty like that, and he proved himself. It was because of Mike. He had rings.
Mhm.
Because when Scotty left Chicago, he didn't go to no sorry teams. He went to Houston with Barkley and Hakeem. That was a squad. Spent 1 year down there and left with like a crybaby, and then went to Portland. Still
Yeah.
couldn't win. He went on. He didn't retire until what, 2003, 2004.
Something like that.
He didn't
Yeah.
win no rings in 6 years after Jordan. So how you gonna talk shit on Jordan? Because I'm seeing some disrespectful shit him talking about Jordan. Like,
Oh,
you gonna talk crap about this man, and he's the reason you have rings. Period.
yeah. I mean, yeah. And he's sitting there
But
saying that
again,
Jordan wasn't a great player until he came to the Bulls.
right? Like, man, you gotta be. And truth be told, he wasn't crap until he came to the Bulls. Nobody
Yeah.
knew no Scottie Pippen until he came to the Bulls. But then he had only been in the league for what, 2 years at that time, I
I
think.
believe that.
So.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jordan made that team. Period.
Right.
Like
And
whether it was in the '90s or the early '80s when he was the man, because had he not did what he did in the '80s, nobody would have wanted to come there to join him to be what they became.
exactly.
So yeah, Pippen can't talk shit to me. I know the truth, and
Right.
my truth is Jordan was that team, and without him, you wouldn't have any rings.
Right.
But that's that Hollywood elitism, man. People with money just they miserable. You would
Mhm.
think people with millions of dollars in the bank would have no reason to be miserable, but they some of the most miserable people out here.
I mean, you're right. Okay, now like there's something like there was another controversy that's happened recently. We're gonna touch on a couple more things before we get up out of here.
Okay.
Like the whole John Morant situation. Now I've gotten into it with people about that. And you said that like first let's what was your take on you said how Adam Silver dealt with that? You said with him flashing a gun multiple times on Instagram Live.
Well, let me ask you this, because again, I take myself away from situations that don't
Mhm,
affect me.
mhm.
I know of the situation, but I don't know any details. So my question to before I answer is: was he legally able to carry a weapon?
As far as I know, yes.
Then it was nobody's business. Who cares if he's on camera?
Mhm.
Like it's no, if I can legally carry a weapon as long as I'm not doing anything illegal with it, it's nobody's business. And it
And
shouldn't have been the NBA's business, except for they signed contracts that put themselves in situations like that. So
and that
do
was
I
my
believe
whole
it was fucked up? Yeah, but you got to pay to play. And to be in the NBA and top places like that, there's certain things you can't do. Like you take motorcycles, Jay Williams.
mhm,
He signed a contract saying you're not supposed to be on a motorcycle, and had an accident on the motorcycle when he was playing for the Bulls.
right.
So when you sign that contract to make so much money, you got to do what they say do, and that's what it boils down to. Was he wrong? No, in my eyes, but in the eyes of the law and his contract, he was dead wrong. He knew damn well he shouldn't have been doing that shit. So he got what he got.
And he's
That's
like,
my opinion.
he's and I'm fully in agreement with you because you said like you said they sign morality clauses, and because at the
Right,
end of the day you're getting paid so much money, and because there's so many eyes on whatever particular sport or whatever you say, you're automatically a role model now.
right, right.
You just because they
And
already
you can affect the brand, not just the role model, but your brand model too. You can
Mhm.
affect the brand with what you do.
Right, but it's like, like with a situation like that, and then a situation like the Kyrie situation for sharing the link to a fucking movie that he did not make. You,
Yeah, but we know everybody know what that's about.
of course,
That ain't that goes back to the racial thing. That's all that was about. You can't be telling nobody about this. You can't tell nobody the truth about what we've been doing, and that's all that was about. Because Kyrie definitely did nothing wrong, especially when it was all white people that promoted the movie to begin with, and they
exactly.
still didn't take it down after he did what he did.
No,
So
they
how
did
is
not.
it so
I
wrong if
believe it's
it's
still
still
up there now.
available?
You're right, it's still up there now, as far as I believe. And on top of that shit, it's on Amazon Prime.
So yeah, that one I didn't agree with. The John Morant, I didn't agree with. The way things went down, but I have to put all the facts together and say, okay, well, if I was a judge in the courtroom, I may not agree, but I have to follow the law, the rules of the law. You
Mhm.
sign this contract, and that's that. But we're going to act how we're going to act, and we can't. You shouldn't be labeled with what you're doing. That's like Great example for us truckers. Oh, well, drugs and this and that. But Sally and Joe and Billy can get off of work and go get drunk and high and all of that as long as they don't come back to work the next day. Well, why is it a double standard for airline pilots and train conductors and truckers? Like we want to be off and relax too.
Right.
So it's just about you sign up for certain things and you can't not like it when it don't work in your favor.
Exactly.
So that John Morant got what was coming to him according to the way he told them he would agree to act.
Right. And where I think you saying where he put his foot in his mouth was like a week or two later, showing another gun, but showing that it was a cigarette lighter. Like, nigga, if it was a
Oh, is
cigarette
that
lighter,
what it was? It was a
yeah.
cigarette. Wait a minute. So he got a 50-game suspension for a cigarette lighter.
Well, I don't know if the particular gun in the videos was a cigarette lighter, but he if it was a cigarette lighter, he could have said that in the first fucking place. But no, he waited a week or two later and goes, "No, see, it's a cigarette lighter."
Yeah, he just shouldn't have even been put in. He shouldn't have allowed himself to be in that position. That's when you got to check the friends you hanging around. Again, when you making that kind of money, I'm not saying forget where you from. But you can't be not messing with knuckleheads that don't understand the ramifications that come with your actions. Your friends just want to be on video with you. Right. You got to be the bigger man and realize what it's going to cost you.
Which, like I said before we get up out of here, I'm going to sit there. That ties right back into the beginning of this conversation when I said, how in the fuck, Dr. Umar, are you going to sit there and blame black men for the choices that black women make? Nigga, knock it off.
Right, exactly. Funny how that all worked its way back around.
Yes, it did. Anyway, before we get up out of here, brother, give everybody your socials so they can get in contact with you, man.
Well, I'm an easygoing. I'm Lucious Washington on Facebook, and that's about it. I'm so boring. I don't do no Instagram, Twitter, and if I have any of that stuff, I don't know the handle to give to you.
Anyway, man, you said, well, y'all enjoyed this video. You said this interview with you said my good brother Lucious. You said make sure y'all smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification so you don't miss another video. Without further ado, I love you. Lil Dub loves you. Big Lou loves you. We out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.
The boy Dub Deuce in the building.